the strategy or the border strategy of Israeli government or Israeli army attacks on civilians, mainly the vulnerable groups of women and children or elderly people. These attacks or this high percentage shows that the violation against international laws, and shows that the Israeli through these attacks are willing or doing this on purpose to damage the social structure of Palestinian society. Now the balance is changing. We lose a lot of or hundreds or thousands of women, more than 14,000 in Gaza in the last year, in addition to more than 12,000 child, in addition to people with disabilities. I believe, yes, this will affect the balance. This will put more burdens on families, more burdens on even the society, more burdens how to recover from from this trauma that maybe the community needs maybe 10 or 20 years at least to recover from this trauma and the impact of this attacks on Palestinians.
Israel's unilaterally ended the 2-month-old Gaza ceasefire agreement, launching a massive wave of airstrikes overnight that killed at least 400 people and wounded more than 560 others, numbers that are expected to rise with scores of victims still trapped in the rubble. Palestinian health officials say many of the dead are children.
45,000 people dead in Gaza.
Wow.
How do you feel?
It's very hard to be happy about it, but in a way, it makes me much more, I feel more secure. After 45,000 terrorists died, I don't believe in innocent people in Gaza. As general.
Children?
What do you mean children? You know, you don't see shows, you don't speak to the children. It doesn't matter, children. They get it since they're babies. They get it. Kill a Jew and you'll be in heaven. Doesn't make different if he's a child 10, or I should let him grow up until he'll be 18 and then to wait until he's gonna come with a rifle or with a gun and shoot me. It's not, they don't educate for peace, love, or whatever. They educate for killing Jewish.
Babies?
Babies? But I'm not gonna stop bombing because there's babies in enemy cities.
Before the aggression, the employment rate in Gaza Strip exceed 65%. Now we're talking about 82% as employment rate in Gaza Strip. In West Bank, the employment rate reached to 35%. So this percent is very huge between Gaza Strip and West Bank, and very catastrophic in Gaza Strip. The number of employed person reached 650,000 employed person became unemployed, because the situation is very, very, very difficult on all the sectors and activity in Palestine.
Dr. Mahmoud Abu Nujila, who was killed in an Israeli airstrike on Al-Auda hospital, wrote a message many months ago on a whiteboard in the hospital normally used for planning surgeries. And I quote him: "Whoever stays until the end will tell the story. We did what we could. Remember us. Remember us. We owe them more than remembrance. Nothing can explain that for 15 months Palestinians in Gaza have endured hell and been abandoned to this fate.
Well, we would have to change the narrative a bit, turning this conflict not into the Arab-Israeli conflict, but rather the world-Israeli conflict, so that the international community takes upon itself to cure this matter that's been long overdue. Putting the mind of the international community to rest would mean the fulfillment of the previously passed UN resolutions and the recognition of Palestine. So we say to those who are supporting us, you ought to jump the gun a bit and come forward, walk the talk, and implement the recognition of the Palestinian state at the UN by elevating the membership of Palestine to full member and recognize the Palestinian state.
The draft resolution has not been adopted owing to the negative vote of a permanent member of the Council.
Well, we have to recognize that the details on the ground may differ, but the same scenario Israel is carrying out in the West Bank and Gaza. The bottom line is the deportation of Palestinians and the expulsion of our people.
خايف أضل مشلول كرسي متحرك في حياتي.
أنا ماما كتبت اسمي على جسمي عشان لو قصفوا يعرفوا يجمعوا آبائهم.